Hello students, in our previous session of integers, we have learned what are integers, what is their absolute value and the addition of integers. Now in this session, we are going to learn about the subtraction of integer. So in this session, we are going to see how to subtract integers, then the properties of subtraction of integers such as closure property, commutative property and associative property. Now let's see how to subtract one integer from the other. The rule for subtraction of integers says to subtract one integer from the other, convert the integer to be subtracted to its negative and then add the two integers. So we'll see an example and it would be more clear how to subtract integers. So the first example says subtract minus 5 from minus 15. So here minus 5 is the number which is to be subtracted and we have to subtract it from minus 15. So whenever we get a question in this way, we have to write this number first. So we will write it like this, minus 15 minus, since we are subtracting, we put a minus sign, minus 5, because minus 5 is the integer to be subtracted. Now what the rule says, convert the integer to be subtracted. So this is the integer to be subtracted, minus 5. Convert it to its negative. So negative of minus 5 is plus 5. So we convert the integer to be subtracted to its negative and then add the two integers. Now keep in mind that the first integer remains same. There is no change in the first integer. Here it was minus 15 and we will write it as minus 15 only. We have to only change the integer which is to be subtracted and minus sign changes to plus 5. So now from our previous session you can recall while adding two integers which are having opposite sign, we subtract them. So 15 minus 5 gives me 10 and the bigger number being 15, we put minus sign in the answer. So my answer is minus 10. So in this way we subtract two integers. Now let's take one more example so that the process is clear to you. Subtract plus 9 from minus 14. So here 9 is to be subtracted. So we write 9 afterwards. So minus 14 minus plus 9. Now change this minus sign to plus and 9 to its negative. So plus 9 will become minus 9. Now we have minus 14 plus minus 9. Both the numbers, they have same sign. So we add their numerical values. So 14 and 9 added gives me 23 and we keep the sign as it is. So it is minus 23. So we'll get answer is minus 23. Now let's see the properties of subtraction of integer. The first property is the closure property. So what does the closure property says? It says for any two integers a and b, the difference a minus b is always an integer. That means if I subtract any two integers a and b, then their difference is always an integer. So we can say integers are closed under subtraction. So let's see some example. So here I have taken 3 minus 5. I am subtracting 5 from 3. So here both the integers are positive. 3 and 5 both are positive. Now just now we have seen how to subtract. Change the minus sign to plus and the number to be subtracted to its negative. So this will become 3 plus minus 5. So both the integers have opposite sign. So we subtract them and put the sign of bigger integer. So my answer will be 5 minus 3, 2, and it will have a minus sign because the bigger number here is having minus sign. So minus 2 is an integer only. Now let's see one more example. 2 minus minus 2. So this minus sign changes to plus and the number to be subtracted, that is minus 2, will change to its negative. So minus 2 will become plus 2. So I got 2 plus 2 and the answer is 4. So 4 is also an integer. It is a positive integer. Now here I'll tell you a short trick in subtraction of integer. You can see here this is minus and minus. So when two minus sign comes together, we make it a plus sign. So every time when you come across such situation where a minus sign is followed by another, you can simply make it plus. So minus and minus coming together become plus. So now move to the next property, that is the commutative property. It says for any two integers a and b, the difference a minus b is not equal to b minus a. So this sign here, equal to sign with a cross, it shows not equal to. So let's see with an example. I have taken two integers a as 2 and b as minus 3. So when I write a minus b, that means 2 minus of minus 3. Just now I have told you when two minus sign comes together, it becomes plus. So minus minus becomes plus. So I'll get 2 plus 3. So answer is 5. Now let's swap them, interchange their position. So minus 3 will be written first and 2 will be written later. So here minus 3 minus 2. So change the minus sign to plus sign and 2, it is a positive 2, so it will be changed to negative 2. Now see here, both the integers, they have same sign, so we add their numerical value. So 3 and 2 added gives me 5 and keep the sign as negative. So the answer is minus 5. So you can see plus 5 and minus 5. If I interchange the places of a and b, the answers are different. 5 is not equal to minus 5. So we can say that commutative property of subtraction does not hold true in case of integer. We have seen in case of addition of integer, addition is commutative, but subtraction of integers is not commutative. Let's continue with the properties of subtraction. Now the third property of subtraction is the associative property. The associative property of subtraction says for any three integers a, b, and c, if I subtract them, then if I change the grouping of integers, then their difference won't be same, which means a minus in bracket b minus c is not equal to a minus b in bracket minus c. So to understand it properly, we'll take an example. So in this example, I am taking a as minus 2. The first integer here is minus 2, b is plus 2, and c is minus 3. So let's first take the left hand side. Minus 2 minus, in brackets I'll write the two remaining integers, 2 minus minus 3. Okay, so whenever we have bracket, we first subtract these two. So when we will subtract here minus minus coming together, so it will become plus. So this becomes 2 plus 3. That will give me a 5. And this minus 2, since it is outside the bracket, will remain as it is. So I am left with minus 2 minus 5. This 5 here is positive. Now to subtract, change this negative sign to positive and this number to its negative. So it is minus 5. I will get minus 2 plus minus 5. Now you must be knowing the rules for addition. When the numbers have same sign, add them and put the sign. So answer is minus 7. Now let's see the right hand side. If I am grouping a and b together and then later subtracting c from it. So what I have? Minus 2 minus plus 2 minus minus 3. So here change the negative sign to positive. Plus 2 is changed to minus 2. So I get minus 2 and minus 2, which will be added to minus 4. Now see here, minus and minus. These are coming together. So just now I have told you, whenever we come across such situation, these two minus become plus. So what I am left with is minus 4 plus 3. So here, following the rules of addition, when the signs are opposite, subtract them and put the sign of bigger number. So 4 minus 3, I get 1 and the sign will be minus 1. So in this way, for right hand side, my answer is minus 1. So you can see right hand side and left hand side, they are not equal. So we can say associative property of subtraction does not hold true in case of integers. So these all are the properties of subtraction. Now you can solve these exercises based on the knowledge which we have gained in these two sessions. So that's all for today's session, children. Hope you have learned the subtraction of integers. Thank you.